What's up, guys? I'm making this video because over the last few weeks I've been posting tons of yacht footage of me in Italy and France and Spain and all these crazy places. I've had so many questions and it's actually been pretty cool to see. So thank you first of all for those that posted a question. I've got a couple of them lying down here. I am going to read them. I'm going to be making a video series over the next couple of days and weeks, pretty much outlining a lot of questions that people have. How do I get into it? What is yachting? What does the job entail? How do you do day-to-day jobs? What do you do on a day-to-day job? So I think there's heaps of questions that people have, and the videos that I'm going to make about this are going to be completely based off the questions you have to ask. So any questions you have about this industry, just ask below in the comments and I'll do the best I can to address all those questions. Before I continue though, to those that don't have immediate friends and family in yachting, I am going to ask you this question. And are you interested in getting in yachting because of footage that you've seen that looks like this? Of course you are. Everybody does. That being said, as long as you know that this is what you're going to be doing for the majority of the time. Also, a quick disclosure that I'd like to make: there is no guarantee in this industry. It doesn't matter how many courses you do or what you've done before, it's not going to guarantee you anything. So there's no expectancy in this job. You've got to be able to show that you're willing to work and that you're willing to do pretty much anything and start right at the bottom. That's going to be the only way with a good personality, because at the end of the day, I mean, I've helped with hiring people on boats. It's not going to be about what's on the piece of paper that you hand out. It's going to be whether you can physically live with the person, because the majority of the time you can train somebody how to do a certain job, but you can't always live with them. Okay, let's get into some of the questions. Question number one: what is yachting? This is somebody's pleasure craft. This is a holiday destination, a getaway in different locations where you can maneuver the boat from different places and enjoy different scenery. At the end of the day, what your job is inevitably the highest possible service that you can fathom without the boss pretty much realizing that you're giving him the highest possible service. So at the end of the day, he's not going to see that there's salt on the boat after you've been out at sea. He's going to think the boat's consistently clean. Question number two: what do crew members do on board? Now, I'm not going to get into every single crew member. I'm going to start with the lowest, so your deckhand and your stewardess. Stewardess or steward if you're working inside, and deckhand if you're working outside. Inevitably what your job description is the overall maintenance of the vessel, making sure that everything is kept pristine. That job will involve washdowns, making sure that everything is in working order. Very hands-on job. So that being said, is the yachting industry for you is the third question. And my question is going to be, are you a practical person? Are you somebody that used to help your dad wash their car? Are you somebody that used to, build things when you were a kid? Because I've seen people come into this industry that don't have a practical bone in their body and they really struggle. So I'm going to ask yourself, are you a practical person? If you are, this job can very likely be for you and you'll probably love it. How do you get started? Question number four. There are a few courses that you have to do in order to be able to go to sea. So one of those is an STCW. That is your basic safety at sea. You can look that up. Secondary courses are things like your powerboat license, which allow you to drive a tender or a speedboat that belongs to the vessel, so that you can sort of ferry people from the boat to the shore, etc. The courses go on forever. They end up being thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars if you're going to spend that, depending on whether this is the career for you or whether you're just looking for some sort of break. If you are, side note, looking for some sort of break, you still need to come into this industry with a really high standard of work ethic. Otherwise, this industry will literally spit you out. Quickly get on to the questions that have actually been sent to me. Hey Jared, just a quick question for you. I'll be heading to Fort Lauderdale in 11 days to start the job hunt. Is there anything that I should learn to do beforehand? It's a really good question. If you've never washed a boat before, you're not going to know how to wash a boat. Every single boat that I've ever worked on, the guy in charge is going to want you to do it a certain way. So you're never going to be able to know exactly what you got to do on the next job. That being said, there are a few things that you can sort of mentally think about. When you're washing a car, you start on the top of the car and you work your way down. When you're washing a boat, nothing's different. You start on the top, you work your way down. If you're doing the windows, finish doing the windows and then move on. Don't go washing the roof and then doing the deck and then doing the stainless and then doing because you're just going to be all over the place. So if you're doing a job, start at one end, finish at the other, and try and sort of mentally prepare yourself for something like that. Second thing you can do, you are going to be dealing with ropes and lines, and you're going to be dealing with rope work. So you're going to be tying lines and tying knots fairly often. So if you could buy yourself 1 or 2 meters worth of string or line, and you can start tying things like bowlines, by far one of the most commonly used knots, and I will make a video on the top 3 knots used. But if you can make sure that you know how to tie a bowline perfectly, that is by far a good start. And don't just do it once or twice, do it over and over and over. Close your eyes, tie the knot again, because you're going to be doing it often, and it's not something that you really want to forget. Otherwise you look like a little bit of an idiot. Trust me, I've been there. Next question, not sure if you've used agencies. How were those interviews? When you're going for an interview with an agency, they literally want to be able to see that you can communicate with somebody, find out what your previous history is. They're looking for somebody that they can put forward that they know is going to be a good reflection on them. So if you come across as confident, if you say that you can do something and sort of back that up, that's what they're looking for. What kind of clothes should I be bringing? How much clothes? Freaking out a little. Totally understand that you're freaking out, Chase. The type of clothes, if you're wearing a nice, like these shorts, don't know if you can see them, but nice shorts with a nice belt and a collared shirt, white collar, grey collar shirt, no problem. If you've got a dark pair of shorts like this, it's just as fine. So dark pair of shorts, a pair of boat shoes, if you look that up you will find them, and a nice collared shirt, not what I'm wearing now. Something you want to look smart, so a nice collared shirt, nice pair of shorts, and a pair of shoes. Always have a watch on you. People want to know that you're going to be there on time when they ask you to be there at 8 or 8:30 or 6 or whenever the heck they tell you to be there. Wear a watch, rubber strap if you can, that way you don't scratch the boat. Hey Jared, I'm looking to enter the industry. What's the best entry point? First, do your courses. Don't think that you're going to be hired from somewhere like South Africa without having a lot of previous work experience. So if you can get on a plane, get to the area where people are actually hiring people from Europe or America or the Caribbean. That's pretty much what you're looking at doing. Not convinced on the dock walking route. Unfortunately, unless you have got some prior work, so if you're from South Africa, you can try and find some work in the V&A waterfront, or if you're not from South Africa, you're from Australia or anywhere, try and find some work in the harbour surrounding you. Anything helps, so that when you arrive on this side, you've at least done something to do with boats. That being said, you have to start dock walking initially. Or more than dock walking, don't think about it as dock walking, think about it as networking. You've got to be meeting people in the bars and in the pubs. It sounds ridiculous, or down on the dock or anywhere. It's more about meeting people than it is about physically walking boat to boat to boat. The truth is, when I came back from yachting, because I left a little while ago and rejoined on this boat, I got this job with my girlfriend, which is supposed to be completely unheard of, from dock walking. So it works. Daniel says, hey Jared, is it viable for a person on a South African passport to try and join the industry? Daniel, yes, it's fairly difficult and you have to operate. So when you come over to the Mediterranean, you're pretty much given 90 days. You have to find a job within those 90 days. That being said, once you get a job on a boat and you're stamped onto that boat, then you're effectively not in the EU anymore, so your passport really doesn't make much of a difference. Once you're on the boat, captain stamps you, you're officially part of that vessel. When you get off the boat again, or that contract comes to an end, then you're back in Europe or wherever the boat drops you off. So yes, it's viable. I'm on a South African passport, my girlfriend's on a South African passport, so it's very normal, but it can be difficult sometimes. Are there any yachting companies that do paid trips? Valerie, you're going to spend a lot of time and a lot of time wasted looking for like paid trips. Rather just get your courses done, arrive, or look in South Africa for some sort of work there if you can, but then get over to this side and start looking where there are plenty of boats. I mean, I'm looking at 100 boats just by looking on the left hand side of me. So you'd rather sort of immerse yourself in a place where there are tons of boats, where you can meet lots of people and network and try and get jobs on the boats that are around you. Okay guys, that's all the questions for now. Any future videos are going to be based solely off the questions that you have. So please, if you have anything, post down below, hit the subscribe button if any of these pointers helped you. I'm quite keen to make a series of this over time. If you have any friends that are getting into the industry, please tag them, ask them to subscribe to this channel, because I'll make sure that I post tons of useful information. All this information that you're hearing is solely based off personal experience. Every boat is different. Every guy in charge is going to tell you to do it a different way. What you're hearing is solely my perspective on the yachting industry and how I've gotten to where I am. I hope this was helpful, guys. Thanks so much.